This is another edition on Editorial, a broadcast from Canada, and I welcome you to it. My name is Sandra Asante. We are still on the Ethiopian Tigray crisis, and today we'll be looking at what is actually stopping aid from getting to Tigray. So stay with me. I'll be back after a short break. Thank you so much for staying with me. So aid convoys are facing significant obstacles in reaching parts of Ethiopia's northern region of Tigray due to the renewed fighting between the government and the Tigrayan forces. The UN says more than 5 million people are in dire need of humanitarian assistance in the region. Now, the fighting has now spilled over the neighboring Afar region to the east, threatening one of the key supply routes into Tigray. Tens of thousands have been displaced by the latest unrest, making the need for humanitarian support ever more urgent. There are parts of Tigray where it has been possible to reach those in need, particularly areas now stable and under the control of the TPLF. The UN estimates that overall 75% of people in need in Tigray are now reachable. In May, this figure was only 30%. But the UN also warns that stocks are rapidly depleting even in these areas, with access far from straightforward. Only one UN food convoy has successfully reached Mekelle this month. 54 trucks with food and other critical aid arrived in the regional capital on the 12th of July after days traversing red looks. Only one UN convoy has successfully reached Mekelle this month. 54 trucks with food and other critical aid arrived in the regional capital on the 12th of July 2021 after days traversing roadblocks. This represents just 1% of the food that is needed for the month, says Samantha Power of U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. The UN calculates at least 60 trucks need to be arriving in Tigray every day in order to fully meet the requirements of those people caught up in the crisis. Now, I want us to look at the blocking of aid convoys. On the 5th of July, the government announced it would allow humanitarian flights. However, it put in place strict controls, including a requirement for all flights to land first in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, for inspection. So far, these flights have only included a limited number of humanitarian personnel, not food aid. Overland routes has also been severely restricted. To the south, pro-government forces in the Amhara region have been preventing supplies getting through. A 29-truck convoy carrying World Food Programme WFP aid was forced to turn back on the 29th of June, report the UN. It has also been impossible to bring in aid by road from Sudan into western Tigray, an area under the control of the group supporting the Ethiopian government. Until recent, therefore, the only possible land route has been through eastern Tigray, with convoys entering via Afar region of Ethiopia. However, with recent fighting spilling into Afar, this route is now in jeopardy as well. Last week, the WFP suspended movement of convoys from Afar into Tigray after a convoy of 10 vehicles was attacked. It is not clear who carried out the attack, but observers suggest pro-government militias are responsible. A further convoy of more than 200 trucks remains on standby in the Afar town of Samara, but the WFP says the trucks won't leave for Tigray until the security situation improves. Now, I want us to look at the government claims and accusations. The head of Ethiopia's disaster relief agency, Matuku Kasa, has accused the TPLF in a claim in the Afar region of stopping aid trucks destined for Tigray. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has also accused the forces of blocking the humanitarian assistance to Mekelle through the Afar region by bombarding the road with heavy artillery. The TPLF has not commented on the government's claim, but he previously said it will extend whatever support it's necessary to ensure the safety and security of aid workers. Meanwhile, the UN says checkpoints set up on the main route into Tigray have delayed movement of humanitarian cargo. The government has been critical of the aid organization and had insisted on checking all the cargo being transported. The international relief operation is also facing severe financial constraints. The UN estimates that it needs $435 million additional funding between now and December 2021. Large parts of the region have been under communications blackout and without electricity, affecting delivery of key services. Shortage of fuels and cash, as well as a communication blackout, are significantly hindering the resumption and preventing the scale-up of the humanitarian response, the UN says. That's one. Thank you so much for tuning in for the editorials. My name is Sandra Asante. I'll see you some other time. Do you have a great day?